Hi. Today I want to talk about what happens and what's the first indication that you are awakening into greater consciousness. And that is seeing number synchronicity. And more often than not, most people begin to see sequences of one. And that could be 1111 or 111 or multiples of some other number. A lot of times when you hear about seeing 1111, people are connecting that number with twin flames. Well, sorry to disappoint, that's not what this video is about. I strictly want to talk about why it's important to pay attention to these number sequences. It is a way for God and the archangels, your guardian angels, to communicate with you and whomever are a part of your spiritual team. And as you awaken and you get curious, if you haven't gotten curious, I encourage you to get curious about it and to pay attention, because the synchronicity is also showing you how often miracles happen. So that's another word that you can exchange for synchronicity. It's a small miracle, getting to see a pattern and recognizing it. And once you start paying attention, you'll begin to start seeing an expansion of other numbers being communicated to you. And it could go from 111 to 555, or it can go to 5151. You get my drift. So pay attention. And there are resources online that you can type in to your search bar and put angel number blank and whatever that number pattern is. And you'll get to see what information resonates with you at that time. Number one, for example, has to do with creativity and manifestation and independence. So being a free thinker, I want to say as well. So if that's something that you're interested in, the angels will elaborate on those number patterns when you seek it out. You seek out more information. And that ties into the second thing that is a result to seeing these number synchronicities, and that is getting more curious. Finding out what it is, like what's out there, like what is trying to get your attention. Well, let me tell you that whether or not you believe in God and the universe and the angels and the archangels in the celestial realm doesn't make it less or not real. You don't have to believe in something for it to be true or not. But when you awaken into consciousness, you get to know and familiarize yourself with your spiritual team. And that could be your guardian angels, to your ancestors, or your religious beliefs. So I can tell you, my primary spiritual guide since I was a young girl, actually a teenager if I want to be precise, is Yeshua. Jesus Christ absolutely came into my heart and into my life when I was 14 years old. And before then, I I didn't know, like, going to church, what that meant, going to Mass, because I was raised Catholic prior to that point, and getting to know Jesus just totally shifted my perspective on faith and what I believed and whatnot. And then years later, when I started awakening, it was really important that I understand who the archangels are. And they definitely, when I was ready, made a point to communicate with me. And they began communicating with me and still do through numbers. But then I started beginning to see what I call angel fluffs. And I'm going to do a whole separate video on that, on how our spiritual team and the angels primarily do communicate with us. They are our helpers. And so you're never having to go through anything alone. The second you ask and state you need help, they will be there to help you, regardless. So that's pretty much it. I just wanted it to be short and sweet, and to have you be curious about looking up those number sequences and patterns that you see often. And you will see them often. And that just means you're awakening and you're seeing that there's so much more about life than what we see here on the physical earth in the third dimension. There's so much more to your spirit, and that you are eternal, and that you are currently merely having a human experience to learn and grow. I encourage you to comment and reach out to me if you have any questions, if there's anything that I stated that was resonant with you or not. That's okay too. Everyone is welcome, and all opinions are welcome too, because we are a beautiful, beautiful community of humanity, and we come in all shapes and sizes and colors and beliefs. And I encourage you to be curious about more than what you see with your literal eyes.